Viewer discretion is advised. Your fave will be criticized.
That's Jan.
That's Chris.
And welcome to CCTV, the non-stop pop show.
And today we are discussing Kep1er's new summer single, Up.
If you're wondering who we are, Shan and I have a huge range of experience in the music industry, from performing on stage to working at record labels. So we have a lot of insight into the crazy music industry. And now we are on Patreon. You can join us at patreon.com/cctvpops. Shout out to our awesome crew members, Lisette, Lily, Giancarlo, and Emily.
Yay! New member. We got new crew member, Giancarlo. What's up, boo?
Hey. Awesome. So we did review Kep1er's Wadada, which came out in January. And that episode did awesome. So thank you to all the Kep1er fans. I don't know the official fandom name, but we thought it would be good. Kep1ers. Okay. Is that real?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay. So I was like, did you make that up?
Oh, yeah, right, okay. Right. I make it up.
Yeah. So have your thoughts changed in the past 6 months? What do you think of Kep1er?
Okay, so Kep1er, I still don't know anyone's name. Still to this day, I don't know anyone's name. I don't know anything about the group except, like, I have some members that stick out, right? You have Xiaoting, Taeyeon, Hikaru that you and I both like, and Younggun. I think with the whole performance on Queendom too, those are the four that just kept coming to the camera, kept dancing, kept getting like parts in the performances where you're like, whoa, who's that? So those are the only four I really know. And then of course Yujin from CLC, and then Bae.
Okay, well, you just named most of the members, so you do know them.
Look at me! We're working on it. You know what's funny? I know their names now, but the ones that I'm like really like, oh yeah, really quickly in the crowd, I could tell who it is these four for sure. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I didn't listen to anything that they did. Queendom was pretty decent, but the members that I shouted out are the ones that kind of stood out during like little random performances, you know, even kind of showed up Shinbi and G-Friend, and Shinbi could dance a little booty off, and a couple of the members were eating her up. So that's saying a lot. But what about you? How do you feel about them now? It's been like a couple months now. What's your thoughts?
Honestly, my thoughts also haven't really changed. I've watched more performances over the months. I did watch, you know, some of Queendom as well. I will say Wadada has grown on me. I do think it's fun. It's not my favorite girl group song of the year or anything, but I do like it more than I did when we reviewed it. And I did just watch the Dream concert that just happened over the weekend, and they did a great job. And shout out to Hikaru. Wow, she is a star. And I will say she's kind of the only one that I can maybe pull out, honestly, at this point. And I always kind of just look forward to her when she comes out. But yeah, so this is their new comeback, their first comeback, I guess. And let's find out if it's a bop or a flop. This is It Boppin? Here, we listen to the song and discuss the production, lyrics, video, and everything in between. So let's find out, is it a bop or a flop?
So Up was composed and produced by Gloryface, Jinri, and Harry of production team Full Bloom, who has worked with many K-pop artists including Uju Sunyo, GOT7, Twice, and Tongha. Woo, woo, woo. So there's a lot of big names here, which we love or like, depending on the song. Which is tough because, I mean, when you have so many hands in the pot, it can be a little bit icky. But I think because these producers know each other, there is a nice bit of chemistry and synergy with the production and the song, because this song, although it's a bit of a cluster duck of sounds, like sonically it's not displeasing. I mean, you have, like, thematically speaking, it's a little bit all over the place. You have trap, future bass, deep house, and some brassy pop in there, but nothing sounds too disjointed where I'm like, okay, where's the song going? You know, because the snares that were used to transition the songs were the snares throughout the song. The guitar riff that was there was throughout the whole song, and then whatever electronic elements in the chorus was present in the pre. So you had opportunities to kind of really familiarize yourself with the song. And by the time the second part of it came along, you were like, oh, I know this. It's predictable. I know what this is. So it wasn't too jarring. Yeah, I don't have anything that like really stood out aside from like just the transitional moments. And I thought, oh, ooh, wow, that's fresh. That's new. So I appreciated that they were being a little risky, but also just maintaining a cohesive sound altogether. What did you think about the production?
Yeah, so my favorite full Bloom production that I know of is
Mm.
Lullaby by Got7,
Yeah.
which I love. And so if you listen to that, it is kind of similar, like structurally and everything, because there is just kind of the one chorus, and there is very kind of a similar vibe that goes throughout the whole thing. So yeah, I like the bass line of it, and I like the different synths that are used throughout it. I will say the verses don't really do anything for me, either production-wise or melodically, to be honest. I'd say the second verse is stronger, mainly because of the rapping being more dynamic.
Okay.
And I think the best part is actually when it gets a little more lush for that second pre-chorus, and that comes back again in the bridge. That's the dynamicism that I needed from it, because the whole first, I can't sing the first verse back to you, right? I still don't know how it goes. Like the second verse, at least you have the ooh, before each line.
Right.
But yeah, so
But, yeah.
not the strongest as a whole for me. But the chorus, I think, is really bright and fun, super catchy. I can sing it back to you. I mean, I was just saying it to you earlier.
Yeah.
And you were mentioning the transitions. I like the percussion choices throughout it. It is very funky. And as a drummer, it sounds like it'd be fun to play. So yeah. And I will say I like the built-in dance break as well.
Oh,
into
yeah.
that elevated chorus at the end. The final chorus doesn't sound like the other choruses. There's more ad-libbing. It's like there's some more harmonies and stuff. So I like that the general build of the song was good. So
yeah, totally. The dance break reminds me of like some older group that I can't remember right now. But I like that it switches up sonically so that another set of members can pop up, and it definitely maintains that their other dance break in Watata. With it's like one kind of half and then another half. So again, I guess if this is going to be their thing, it's a good thing to have. You have like two different sounding bridge instrumentations for a dance break. And I love a good dance break. No words, just us killing it.
Yes.
Lost
exactly.
art.
But I have to say, at the start of the dance break and also in parts of the verses and stuff, there's this fake horn-like synth that goes through it, and it sounds exactly like the melody of the horns or the sax solo in Sax by Fleur East, who's a British pop star who won X Factor, one of the seasons of X Factor UK.
Yeah.
If you listen to that, you will hear it.
Yeah,
interesting. I don't think it was stolen or anything. I think, it may have just been
parallel development. So word we use quite often here on the show.
Okay, so going into the vocals, okay, I pretty much am going to say the exact same thing I said about Wadada. I do not like their vocal production for this group. I think this, I don't know if it's the company or if it's A&R or who it is, but they obviously really like when people do the very nasal, cutesy thing. And I'm fine with that for certain cases, but for the entire song, it's like, really? Like, come on. Like, it just takes out any emotion out of it, They sound like robots with all the processing, plus the nasality. And, like, I mean, I would say the raps are at least a bit more dynamic, but going back to the, ooh, right? It's like, ooh. And it's just like, but imagine that sung just more openly or breathily, like, ooh. Or like sexily, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, there's just, it could be so much better. Like when I listen to this song and I imagine someone else singing it, like with more dynamicism. Is that the right word? Is that even a real word?
If it's not, we're going to make it a word.
But like, it's just like they sing the whole thing, like even the chorus, it's so nasally.
It is. It is really tight.
Really annoys me. And like, I like that there are a few moments of unison. There's some chanting, but this chorus is screaming for a unison moment.
A group chorus, a little bit of an SM style kind of approach.
And they don't do it, and it annoys me. So the potential was there, and I'm not happy with the vocal production. So what did you think?
Sorry, I didn't make that noise. Okay, when I think about the song, this kind of vocal production really reminds me of how a lot of people think that K-pop is a juvenile kind of thing, because you're asking these young girls, I get that they're young, to keep singing higher and higher and higher. By the time the chorus goes up, comes around, they have nowhere else to go but even higher, and then it just sounds even more tighter, even more strained. It's it sounds very babyish, and it kind of just takes the coolness out of it that a rapper would have to bring around. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it just ends up feeling a little bit like almost like a Kids Bop kind of track. And don't get me wrong, I actually do really enjoy this kind of approach with girls, like having a good time in summertime. I love a good summer song. I mean, but you're right, the oohs and the ahs of the second, I think pre-chorus are probably the best because there's a ooh, and as it's going up, there's a harmony going ooh. So there's some type of like juxtaposition that's really interesting. And the harmonies, I feel like harmonies need to be utilized a lot more in a group like this, especially if you have so many high vocals. Have some lows to kind of just to weigh it down a little bit more, to kind of just give it a little bit more, just to ground it more, because it's so high. Literally, it just keeps going up, 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 instead of up, 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 up. Something, just give me something to give it a little bit more bassiness to it. But yeah, I mean, it is really pretty though. I do like those harmonies because it's just little earwormy things for me. And going back to what you were saying about like just them not really being like all sounding alike, it's true. And honestly, they don't have a sound that makes me think like they separate themselves from a group like a Fromis 9 or a Rocket Punch or even Oh My Girl. It's like, it's not bad to have a commercial sound, but like, who is Kep1er at this point? I don't know yet. And it's tough to kind of distinguish who they are sonically. I mean, even with Chaeyoung, I think the girl who was from SM at one point, she kind of breaks away when she gives the ad-libs at the end. But then after that, it's like, shouting. And I think oh my God, the other Japanese young lady, Mashiro, she's singing, they kind of like do like a little rappy thing, and their voices are a little bit lower too. Why are we not using those girls more? But
yeah, I think for some reason they like almost the way they're producing them, they want them to all sound exactly the same almost, which is interesting. It's an interesting choice. But I personally like when groups have distinctive tones within them. I think that's part of the fun. So what's the point? You know, what's the point of having them all sound the same? Because I was listening to this and it was like, is this the same person saying or is this someone else? You know, like there's no way. I couldn't tell. And like even with the rappers, when they sing, they don't sound like they do when they rap. They sound like the other girls doing the super cutesy nasally thing. So it's just like I just don't understand really. But yeah, what did you think of the lyrics?
Okay, so here we are back with my shanspiracy. Honestly, there's not much of a shanspiracy here. It's more of a connective story. I feel like because they're going with this whole we're aliens from another planet thing, as if Uju Sonyo hasn't already done it. Uju Sonyo is Cosmic Girls for people who don't really call them by the Korean name. But yeah, the whole we fell down from outer space thing, Kep1er's going on with that. EXO's done it. Who else has done it? NMIX is doing it now. So now Kep1er's here and they landed with Watata. And now they want to show their imaginary island. And they go past the rainbows and the clouds to show Kep1er a new world. And in this world, they do what they want when they want. And there's something always new around the corner. And literally, that's what all the lyrics are about. Like, we're going to go up. Yeah. We're going to show you this secret place, my imaginary island. Like, they want to show you a new world as opposed to, you know, crashing down and exploring ours. It's just another kind of alien adjacent concept, but it wasn't so much forced down the throat, which I appreciate because now the lyrics feel a little bit more universal, where it's like, come to an imaginary world, maybe it's a love song, come to an imaginary world, maybe it's just them going to a pool party or a summer camp, or it doesn't feel so much like come to this alien planet where it's up past the rainbows and the clouds, and is, you know, it's just but they're pretty simple, nothing too crazy, pretty generic summer, you know, bubblegum pop anthem, I guess. But I mean, lyrically, I think out of all the summer songs I've heard, like throughout the past X amount of years, like decades, even listen to K-pop, does this like kind of stand out as like a top summer track lyrically? Not really. What about you? What do you think about it? How do you feel about the lyrics?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like these types of these summer bops that everyone is surely going to come out with these next couple months, they're never really like amazing lyrically. That's really not what they're about, right? So I'm fine with the idea of this imaginary island in the clouds. Like, that's fun imagery. It lends itself well to the video, and like it's a cute enough concept, I guess, to like write around. So it's fine. Like there's like you said, there's nothing that stands out about it, but at least it has some sort of idea. It's not literally just like It's the summer. Yay. Party.
Wait,
Yay. Like, it's at
hang
least.
on. Wait, are you telling me that hot summer, a hot no mudoa, hot summer isn't good enough?
I mean, this is at least more creative than that.
Totally. I was being so sarcastic. But yeah, speaking about you saying it's like a party, what do you think about the video? I feel like this is not really your style per se, so I'm really curious to know how you feel about the video, watching it and whatnot. Excuse me.
Yeah, so with these, I realized I always try to listen to the song first, like many times before I let myself watch the music video, because it does kind of cloud your judgment a little bit, I think. In this case, while I was listening to the song, this video is literally what I was picturing in my head. Like, I was like, there's going to be rainbows, they're going to be in the clouds, like, they're going to be dressed for the summer and, like, having fun with each other. Like, that's, like, what I was picturing, and that's literally what this is. And that's not a bad thing, right?
No,
I think
it's not.
It's done well the way it is. I like the rainbow room that they dance in.
Oh my God, yes.
The transitions of day and night and, like, outside and inside and stuff. Like, there's enough going on to keep it interesting, but it's not crazy. So yeah, it was fun. I will say again, Hikaru is a clear star, because literally just every time she's on screen, she not only steals the show, but also you remember her afterwards.
Yeah.
I will say, I don't personally think the chemistry is fully there yet. The parts where they were supposed to be, like, having fun, in quotes.
Oh yeah, like the partying, like
yeah, where they're, like, awkwardly, like, dancing with each other and stuff.
Cypher.
Like, it just looks so awkward. So I don't know if it's just they're not fully comfortable to let loose in front of the camera, or if it's they're not fully comfortable to let loose with each other, or both. But it just, I don't feel it. I don't feel this is a gang of girls that, like, I would want to attend their party if I was 10 years younger. You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh.
I don't feel that.
No, totally. No, you're so right. Okay, so here's the thing. I think they've gotten better chemistry wise, because I mean, if you, sorry, I'm like laughing through it, because if you think about Watata, right? It's like fresh off our competition. Like, this girl was my enemy like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And now we're on stage talking about some, you know, like, it's just, it doesn't feel good. I feel like with Queendom and them having to go through that quote unquote hardship, because it is kind of hard to be on a show.
Oh yeah.
And then, like, you know, so I feel like even after watching, like, their showcase, they felt more like friends. They didn't feel like coworkers who just met like a week ago and just had orientation. It felt a little bit better. Does it translate on stage? Not so much. Or translate on screen? Not all the way. And like what you said, when they were like dance ciphering, it just wasn't there. Some members you can see, like, oh yeah, this makes sense. Like, they might actually click really well. But certain members, like Baie and Yujin, during their section in the first verse, it was just very much two cute girls who happen to have a part in unison singing together. And I don't know if it's because of their eye. I don't know. They just they're pretty, but sometimes the smile does not meet their eyes, so it just looks very dead.
Yeah, it's the big eye thing. It's like, it's the big eyes and smiles, because I think it's supposed to be cute, but it also looks like soulless, lifeless.
Yeah, yeah, and it's just very much like, come buy me off the shelf. It just doesn't feel like, you know, like, it doesn't feel warm, and therefore when you're trying to interact with another person who's also buy us off the shelf, it just feels like some weird, creepy, like, Toy Story doll. But again, they're very beautiful. They're very pretty young ladies, but I plan to get a little starey, not scary. I do appreciate the claymation green screen that they had when Taeyeon was, like, swimming through her parts. I think my favorite parts were definitely, like, the dance room, the rainbow dance room, when the light started flashing, because it was deep. It had a lot of depth to it.
Very cool.
Yeah, right? Hikaru and I forgot the other girl. Dang it. Who else was on that raft?
Oh, the raft.
But yeah, that was cute. And then the claymation, yeah. And I do like the set design of the house. It just reminded me of Twice when they did Cheer Up, but they actually had, like, a real big house. But I like that the house kind of looked like a pop-up book. So the video was really pretty. A lot of primary colors as opposed to the pastels. I think we're getting out of that pastel. You know, everyone wants those primary, bright, bold colors, and it really they look nice in the video. They look great. I mean, Xiaoting's hair is completely red. It's very, very much in your face, and I appreciate that it wasn't so pastel. But yeah, like you said, camera-wise, it was a little awkward. But even them performing on the stage and, like, them doing the choreography, I feel like maybe that's what saved it for me a little bit more. As opposed to them just acting toward the camera, their choreography and their stage presence definitely kind of helped with the overall packaging of the song. And getting into that, what did you think about their choreography with their showcase and even in the video, how it was displayed there? What did you think?
I do like the choreo a lot. Very dynamic. I appreciate the ins and outs with the smaller groups. And their choreographer does use levels really well. So whether that be just sometimes half their arms are up and the other half are down, or if like a couple of them are on the floor or whatever, like the use of the levels in that sense are well done. However, I think the choreo is too hard. And I'm not sure if it's in general too hard or just too hard for them. Right, because we've seen really difficult choreography. You know, K-pop just keeps getting harder and harder, really. But the thing is, this song, because it's supposed to be fun, right? They can't have fun because the choreo is so crazy. Like
it's laborious.
It's laborious. Like there's one. Like first off, in the chorus, their arms have to be so strong to like hit down. Like they have to be like really tense, right? To like hit those arms that fast, you have to like put so much like tense. You have to keep your muscles very tense to do that, right? And so that doesn't match the funness of the song, the lightness of the song. And like there's one part in like the last chorus where they all get to jump, and it's like a free jump that like they then have to immediately like get to their next spot to start the next move. So some of them have to do a very small jump, or like they don't land together because some of them are like rushing to like get to their next moment. So like again, I just don't know if it's just too fast in general, or if it's just like that they can't execute it with the way it's supposed to be right now. And that's not like mean. That's more on the choreography. That's more on the choreographer and making sure it looks good than on them. Okay.
No, you're right. You're right. It's not shade at all.
I will
it's just
say
funny
the
that you said that.
dance break is really fun. I really like the double kick that they do. And I like that it was a smaller group that did the dance break as well. And then just one more thought on the facials. This goes back to kind of what I was saying with the video. I just don't think that they're very comfortable on stage and stuff yet. Like I'm sure they've improved a lot from Queendom and stuff, but it just looks so overthought. And you know, of course it's K-pop, so everything's always overthought, and every single facial, every wink, every smile you do is planned, but they make it look planned. Like all the forced interaction, it's like, oh, we get to high five each other, and it's like, okay, look at each other and smile, but it's not like it's not a genuine smile. Right?
You're so right.
So that will come with time, I think, but I can just tell very easily that it's thought right now.
You know, you're so right, because I'm thinking about this moment with the Baie and Yujin on the stage. They did something together, and Baie looked. Yujin forgot to look, so it didn't happen. And it was awkward because one girl's looking at one girl, another one's looking dead at the camera. So you're right. Moments like that are just like, take notes, children. Chris is speaking the truth. But it's true. Moments like that, you're just like, well, aren't supposed to look at each other? She forgot the cue because she's looking at the camera. Or was it choreographed that she looks at her very awkwardly while it just doesn't look right. It doesn't look good. And you're right. The choreography is really fast. I remember I wrote some notes down saying that there's a lot of handography. And it could be nice if you have like someone like Hikaru is a little bit shorter than everyone. So a lot of her, even Dayeon, they're kind of like similar in height. So they hit those moves that require a lot more agility, a lot faster, a lot sharper than the girls who are taller. But the girls who are taller look really good when they're doing extensions or like doing something with their legs or doing something that requires reaching and spinning. So like it's nice to have that balance. But like you said, when they have to point up, go lateral, and then do like some weird wave, it is tough. And then they have to go and do some weird tutting thing. I think Yujin even I think about it because she started smiling. Her hand did something on her sleeve because it's so much going on. I mean, the dance wise though, like I feel like I even said their chemistry has improved over the past 10 months. Like I think it has. I'll give it to them. They have just a little bit. They feel a little bit more like a group. I will give it to them. But I mean, they look clean for the most part, but I can see how it could become very much not just ugly and messy at certain points. I do like the choreo in the bridge. I think the choreography altogether it looks really cool there, and there's like you said, the double kick is probably my favorite part too. It's really hot. It just reminds me of like how well-rounded K-pop choreography can be, because you have some whacking with their little here and there, you have some very K-pop things with the fingers, but then you have some straight hip-hop like in that bridge. So it has the capacity to be a lot better. It's just where the chorus comes in, it just hits a little bit flat because they're trying to do this whole up flying, waving. It's just, that's where it gets a little like, Jesus have mercy. But for the most part, it wasn't bad. And I hate shouting out just certain members. But again, the rap line, shouting, and I think, sorry, y'all. The 4 girls I mentioned earlier are the ones who ate, honestly. Everyone else, they weren't bad, but you can tell that they're thinking about the steps. And I won't blame them because there's a lot to think about.
Yeah. All right. So what's your overall rating?
Ooh, okay. I don't remember my Watata one, but I think I'll give this one a higher rating than Watata. I'll give this one a good 8. It's an 8. Maybe.
Okay. I will give it a 7.5.
All right, it's official. The song is a boppity. It's a bop.
Do we have something in between a bop or a flop? Just like an average song?
It's cool. Cool with no L. It's just the song's cool. Okay, I actually want to give it a 7.5 too. I thought about it. I was like, nah, I think it's a full 8. But I like the song. I don't dislike it. I just feel like with a different group, it'd probably be a lot. I would like it more. You know?
Yeah, if it was sung with more dynamicism, I'm going to keep using that word.
I think that is.
I would have liked it more. Yeah.
Dynamicism? Someone would be like, yeah. Hang on. Oh, I put dynamicism. I was terrible. But yeah, you're right. I just feel like it just needed someone else. Yeah, dynamism.
Oh, dynamism. Okay, I will start using that from now on. Thank you.
Dynamism. That sounds like some weird K-pop group itself. We are dynamism. Dynamism. Like, oh,
God. All right. So we've now heard Watata and we've now heard Up. So what do you want next for Kep1er? They still have another full year of being active.
I mean, at this point, like, K-pop is saturated, like you said, and there's not a lot of dynamism, as we've discovered is the word. It's tough because I don't know if I'm really like into them that much. Like, I want to hear something else from them. But I would like for them to start singing in maybe lower ranges, start to see what happens with that. Like Mask was a good one. Give me some more of that. It wasn't too sexy where it's like, oh my God, there's teenagers in this group. But it wasn't as bright and kind of juvenile as maybe this would sound. So yeah, something like Mask would be welcome, especially as fall starts to roll around. I want to see how they adapt to the seasons. And I'm hoping that they don't make the same kind of like generic songs that IZ*ONE did. Like IZ*ONE had great songs, yeah. But a lot of their singles started sounding exactly alike because it was safe. I'm hoping that since they have the support of the fans, that they'll kind of just do something a little bit more darker, but not girl crush. It's hard to teeter the line because, girl groups. But what about you?
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. They don't stand out for me among the many girl groups that came out this year and the ones that are just big right now. There's just so much going on in K-pop and it's tough to stand out. And I honestly, this is why I don't work in creative. Like, I have no idea what they can do to differentiate themselves at this point, honestly. But if they're staying in the lane that they are, just better vocal production. That's all I want. Like, they clearly have different tones, but they're being forced to sing in this specific way. And now we've heard it in both these songs. And it's not, I don't personally like that. So for me, I just want to hear, just some more individuality, I think. Yeah.
Agreed.
Especially if they're going to go on and go into different groups as well. Because I guess if the whole point is that you become fans of the individual members, that you then go on to support them in their respective permanent groups, then I want even more individualism, right?
Yeah. Yeah. What do you all think about this track? Kep1er, how do you feel about it? Personally, I don't think it was too bad. I'll say that. I don't think Christy is that bad either, right? I don't think it's that bad.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's cool. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below or message us at CCTV Pos on all social media. You can also join us on Patreon. Be like Giancarlo, because we would love to hear all of your thoughts and you can help us decide our next episode topics. And please give us a like, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell. For our listeners, give us a rating and review on your podcast platform of choice. Until next time, that's Chris.
That's Shan.
And we are CCTV. Bye-bye.